Stuart, Florida, the sailfish capital of the world, located along Florida's Treasure Coast and home to one of our greatest environmental champions.
I'm Maggy Hurchalla. I'm the 78-year-old grandmother who had her kayaks garnished and a $4.3 million charge against me because I criticized a failing rock pit. This rock mine was supposed to be a way that we could save the Everglades, save the St. Lucie estuary, and save the Loxahatchee River. I criticized it because it in no way was going to save the Everglades. I pointed out that you can't store water in a hole in the ground in Florida, and it wasn't going to save the Loxahatchee River or the St. Lucie estuary.
Maggy has been charged with tortious interference in what is known as a strategic lawsuit against public participation, or SLAPP suit.
They claim that we criticized a contract after it was signed, and there is no freedom of speech. There is no First Amendment protection.
The developer, Lake Point, also successfully sued the South Florida Water Management District and Martin County. According to Maggy's attorneys, Lake Point is not a party to the interlocal agreement. So what is the goal of the lawsuit?
The goal is intimidate, frighten, and not just, it's like the playground bully. You find somebody, you rub their face in the mud, you make sure everybody's watching, and nobody ever bothers you again.
So it's like a tool in the corporate
yes,
toolbox.
And it's a way basically to shut people up. They have sufficient money that they don't care how much they spend on lawyers to simply make life difficult. Start imagining a government where if you go and complain to your official, you might be held liable for him taking action to make something right. That's a really scary thing, and that affects everybody.
Why should I care as an average Floridian?
Because first of all, the environmental questions involved are not just about alligators and birds. They're not just about beautiful places like this. What happens in Lake Okeechobee is going to affect the water supply of 4 million people in Dade County. What happens in Lake Okeechobee is going to determine whether you can catch a fish in Florida Bay. It's going to determine health issues all over South Florida because of the red tide and the algae blooms. If you can't speak up about that, if you can't complain about that, we're not going to solve those problems. So far, there's no question the Bill of Rights is on our side. That's what it says and that's what it means. We are a country where you can speak up to your public officials. And when they say, no, you're wrong, be quiet, we don't have to be quiet.
Hearings are open to the public on March 12th. You can find out more on slapmaggy.com or help support her cause by visiting defendmaggy.com.
For Truth Media, people who are willing to invest their times and hopes in something like what your organization does are very important as part of the support group for taking care of the rights of all of us. And by supporting groups like For Truth Media and other groups like doing what you're doing, you help all of us.
John Riegert, For Truth Media.